Hello everyone, this is Saman Salim at SS Medics and today we are going to talk about COPD, that is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So till now we have discussed about the chronic bronchitis, emphysema, the comparison between blue blotters and the pink puffers and their detailed pathophysiology. Now we are moving to when a patient of COPD presents to us in the GP setting, the most probable symptoms that the patient might have will be cough, sputum and dyspnea. So these are the most common symptoms. Down below are written the rare symptoms like hemoptysis, edema and morning headache. By the way, these three, although rare, they are very red flag type of symptoms that if the patient is presenting with these, we must be very alert. Then the most common signs that we should look for is the BMI of the patient and the whole detailed chest examination, particularly the respiratory system examination. The breath sounds will be decreased. If the patient is also having some infection, there might be some crackles. But most importantly, the patient will be having labored breathing. Uh, there will be intercostal and subcostal recessions, and the diaphragm will be very down. The patient might have pectus excavatum or pectus carinatum, and we need to do the chest x-ray for these patients. We should do the peak expiratory fluorometry, and we also need to do the pulse oximetry and ABGs. If necessary, we might do the HRCT and spirometry to further plan on the management. Presented with cough and dyspnea. Now we are going to classify their dyspnea according to the modified MRC dyspnea scale, which tells us that if the patient has dyspnea only on sternus exercise, that is grade 0. If the patient complains of difficulty in breathing while going uphill, that is grade 1. If the patient walks slower at ground than the contemporaries, that is grade 2. If the patient takes break while walking to 100 meters, that is patient cannot even walk up till 100 meters without taking some stops and without having some breaks, that is grade 3 dyspnea. And if the patient can't manage himself at all, if the patient gets dyspnea while dressing up, while buttoning and unbuttoning the shirt, that is grade 4 dyspnea. After we have classified the dyspnea based on the patient's history, based on the patient complaints that how well he can manage himself, we also need to objectively stage COPD, and we do that with the help of peak expiratory flow meter or with the help of spirometry. For this, we take FEV1, that is forced expiratory volume in the first second. If it's more than 80% of the predicted value for that age and gender, that is grade 1 or mild COPD. If it's between 50 to 80%, that is moderate. If it's between 30 to 50%, that's severe. And if it's less than 30%, or the patient has presented with respiratory failure, that is very severe COPD. So this is also called as the gold staging of COPD or spirometric staging or the objective staging of COPD. Once we have subjectively and objectively classified the degree and severity of COPD, then comes our management guidelines. So basically, there are 5 steps to manage these COPD patients. Number 1 is reduce exposure to the noxious particles. As we have explained in the pathophysiology, that the basic problem is chronic inflammatory response towards these noxious particles and gases. So we have to avoid their exposure. That is the first thing to do. The second thing we discussed was the airflow limitation. So we give them bronchodilators to have the airflow restored. Third problem, since it's an inflammatory disease, we give them steroids. But again, we are talking just about the inhalational steroids here. Oral steroids are only given for the acute exacerbations and not otherwise. Finally, when the fibrosis develops and chest is having very less compliance, we refer them for pulmonary rehabilitation. But as the disease progresses, we ultimately have to give them long-term oxygen therapy. And by the way, this is a very important Viva question, that what are the indications for long-term oxygen therapy? And we will cover these Viva questions in some other video. So GOLD guidelines for the management of COPD, it's a very simple way how to treat the COPD patients. For the mild COPD, we have to tell them to avoid the risk factors. We give them the pneumococcal and influenza vaccination, short-acting beta agonist as in when needed, and we can also give them mucolytics if required. For the moderate COPD, we have to give them long-acting beta agonist and we refer them for the rehabilitation. For severe COPD, we give them inhalational corticosteroids, and for very severe, we give them long-term oxygen therapy. We are also have some surgical options in these cases, like bulectomy or lung volume reduction surgery or lung transplant. So here comes that if a patient is having acute exacerbation of COPD, what do we do? So firstly, the triggers for acute exacerbation are mostly infections, either be bacterial or viral, or if the patient has traveled somewhere and the air quality has worsened or changed. So these are the common triggers for exacerbations of the COPD. And the symptoms, they will be worsening of the dyspnea, patient might develop cyanosis, patient might develop edema, and altered conscious level. So how do we manage them? We give them controlled oxygen. This is very important that we do not give them high flow oxygen of 6 to 8 liters. We only give them oxygen of 2 to 3 liters. And salbutamol, if not controlled, we give them ipratropium, oral steroid for 10 days. And if the trigger was bacteria, we give them antibiotics. And if required, if the patient has edema, we give them diuretics. If the patient is having altered conscious level, we give them doxapram or assisted ventilation as needed. Now here comes how do we tell the prognosis of COPD patients, that is by the Bode index. It's a very simple chart. B stands for BMI, O stands for obstruction, that is determined by FEV1, D stands for dyspnea MRC scale, and E is basically the exercise capacity, which is measured by distance traveled in 6 minutes. So if the BMI is more than 21, that is a good thing, and we grade them 0. If the BMI is less than 21, we grade them 1. For the obstruction, if it's more than 65% of the predicted value, it's very good. We give them 0 score. And if it's less than 35, that is a bad score, and we give them the maximum 3 points. If it lies in between, that is grade 1 or 2. For the dyspnea MRC scale, we have already discussed. And for the exercise capacity, we make the patient run on a treadmill, and we measure how many meters the patient can travel. If the patient can travel more than 350 meters within 6 minutes, that's very good, and we give them grade 0. So according to this index, the maximum score that a patient can have is 10. And what we need to know is that this score is directly proportional to the percentage mortality in 5 years. So if a patient's Bode index is 5, it means that there is 50% chance that the patient will die in the next 5 years. If the Bode index is 7, that is the patient is having 70% mortality chances in the next 5 years. So that's how we tell the prognosis of these COPD patients. So starting from the definition till the management of the COPD, management of the acute exacerbations, and telling up to the prognosis, we have completely discussed about COPD. If you have any questions or any queries, anything left, please make sure to drop your comments. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you like the content, please share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day.